Ukrainian first-person view, FPV drones, destroyed 3 Russian tanks and several other vehicles in a single night, according to Kyiv, including one of Moscow's vaunted T-90 main battle tanks. Drone pilots with Ukraine's 47th Mechanized Brigade took out 1 Russian advanced T-90 tank, 2 T-72 tanks, and 4 trucks, as well as 2 armored personnel carriers, Kyiv's defense ministry said on Tuesday, sharing footage appearing to show explosive drones veering into a string of vehicles and at least 1 explosion. A specialized strike drone company within the brigade carried out the attacks, the 47th said in a separate statement posted to social media on Monday, also sharing the battlefield video. Kyiv and Moscow are battling for drone superiority, and FPV drones dominate the skies above Ukraine. FPV drones, used across the front line for reconnaissance, targeting and taking out military vehicles, have menaced Russia's tanks, and Ukraine frequently shares footage recorded by the drones in the battlefield. The 47th, which is at least partially deployed in the eastern Donetsk region of Ukraine, close to the city of Pokrovsk, said in late May that its drone company had taken out 6 of Russia's advanced T-90 tanks. Just days later, the brigade said it had destroyed another T-90, worth several $1 million, using a $500 drone. Moscow has lauded its T-90s, particularly its T-90M, also known as Proryev 3, or breakthrough tank. The T-90M Proryev is the world's best tank, Russian President Vladimir Putin said in June 2023. In late December 2022, Russian state media reported that the T-90M had been deployed in Ukraine for the first time. The T-90 is broadly comparable to the US-made Abrams, which the 47th Mechanized Brigade has operated since Ukraine confirmed that the tanks, donated by Washington, had started arriving in September 2023. Russia's defense ministry said on Tuesday that its forces had improved the tactical position of their forces against fighters from several Ukrainian brigades to the south and east of Pokrovsk, a key city for Ukraine's defense, including the 47th Mechanized Brigade. Ukraine's military said in an operational update at 1 p.m. local time Tuesday that east of Pokrovsk was the most intense section of the front line, with fighting ongoing in several villages. Ukraine fought off 11 Russian attacks, with 14 more ongoing, Kyiv's armed forces said, adding, "Situation is tense but under control." Ukraine is using a new defensive strategy to buy time until it is better armed. By retreating to stronger positions, Ukrainian troops can fight more effectively and save lives, military officials said. Time is in the favor of Ukraine, and thus the rationale of an elastic band. You concede a little territory and gain a little time, and then by the end of this year, Ukraine will have advantages that it's never had before, said Dylan Lee Lurkey, an analyst with military intelligence think tank IHS Janes. This strategy is different from the long battle for the city of Bakhmut, where Ukrainian troops suffered many casualties trying to hold their ground. Russia's main offensive in the Donetsk region is focused on areas around the captured Avdiivka and the town of Chasiv Yar, making small but steady gains. If Chasiv Yar falls, it would endanger nearby cities, disrupt Ukrainian supply routes, and bring Russia closer to taking the entire Donetsk region. Russia now has about 650,000 troops in Ukraine, nearly 5 times the number it had 2 years ago. Russian tactics have been effective, including sending waves of soldiers from different directions and attacking more frequently at night. They have even had soldiers wear blue-striped Ukrainian helmets to confuse enemy drone operators. Russian signal jamming has reduced the effectiveness of Ukrainian strike drones. Ukrainian commanders blame superior Russian capabilities and poor communication between their own electronic warfare and drone units. Russians will definitely continue to have minor successes in the next while, said Sekach. Russia's improved targeting of Ukrainian supply routes is also having an impact. They understand that we are supplied with new aid, and they have increased their drone strikes, and it influences our logistics, said Ninja, a soldier with the 28th Brigade in Bakhmut. Frequent attacks on supply routes have forced drivers to constantly change schedules. You need to know the road perfectly, every crater, to allow a driver with night vision to drive quickly. Come in, unload and get out, Ninja explained. To supply the front lines, brigades have had to use new tactics. Regular trucks can be used in other combat zones, but in the Chasiv Yar and Avdiivka areas, armored vehicles, smartly plotted routes, and supply-carrying drones are necessary. Now the delivery is significantly complicated. We are forced to use drones, said Alexander. If before armored vehicles would deliver ammunition 2 or 3 times per day, now they generally do so only once a day.
Выстрел! Орудие! Выстрел! 0,42. Наводи бусоль.